is not a test. This is your emergency broadcast system announcing the commencement of the annual
homeless count. You heard me right. Every year, Pasadena volunteers, police, fire, all get together to do a homeless count. This homeless count is so important because Pasadena has a goal of 0 homeless people by 2028. And where else have we heard 2028 in California linked together? Oh yeah, how silly of me. The Olympics and the smart city. The City of Pasadena Housing and the City of Pasadena to End Homelessness would like to inform you that their point-in-time homeless count scheduled for January of 2025 will need to be postponed to the end of February 2025 due to the devastating fires. But wait, didn't a whole bunch of people that live in California tell me that homeless people don't live in the rich areas? That I could find all 200,000 homeless people that are currently in California at the beginning of 2025, I could find them all on Skid Row? Yet, I found this map. As you can clearly see on this map, it shows Malibu in the bottom left-hand corner of both photos. Now keep looking. All the yellow circles with numbers are homeless encampments. In other words, there's 18, 10, 41, 20, 30. Folks, the map on the right shows you all the areas that burned during the 2025 California fires. So the question is still being asked, where did all these homeless people go? Now, I'm not saying that anything bad happened to them. I'm simply asking a humane question. Where are the homeless people? Because you're seeing all the rich people. You're hearing about them. You're hearing about the animals. But nobody's talking about the homeless people that were obviously in Pasadena because they have an entire group of people with stakeholders. Sounds like the World Economic Forum. And their economic plan is to get rid of homelessness. Now, something that truly bothers me is that one of their goals is to stop the influx or the inflow of homeless into Pasadena by 15% in 2025. Now, that begs to differ another question. Exactly how are you going to stop homeless people from entering into your city? Seriously. And then you have this problem in Pasadena, folks. You have people donating to animal shelters so much more than they could probably use in a year, but not wanting to receive donations for humans. No, I'm not joking. Watch this.
That stroller is for my son, a human, not for a dog. And the way you guys are acting, you can just take that bag of dog food, that $30 bag of dog food at this point. It was just so disgusting. Then I go back to the human location because 30 minutes have passed, right? And basically they're not accepting my donation again. Tell me another hour. I said, I don't live on this side of town. I drove 50 minutes just to get to this location to donate because I got a mass email, whatever, saying you guys are looking for donations. So I just pull up a little further, call me ghetto, I don't care. I just put it on the curb. I was like, and then the sheriff's department or the police, whatever, is walking to me saying I can arrest you.
And now you have to ask the question, you just added another 300,000 homeless people to your already 200,000 homeless people because of the fires. So where are all these people going to go in a city that's overpriced, that already has a housing issue? Where are they going to go? Well, statistically speaking, 10 to 20% will do what they call immigrate, or they'll emigrate. They will leave California to go to surrounding states. Now, Californians are used to a specific type of weather, and there are only a few places in the United States that they can get that type of weather. And that is going to be the southern states and or
10 to 20% will probably move out of state. That's a guess, but I think it's reasonable. That means that you're going to have 1,000 to 2,000 houses, not people, houses that move. This does not consider the other people that may be frustrated or consider this a warning sign and decide to make a decision for their lives. This is just people that literally don't have a home anymore and have to make a decision. So let's say 10 to 20% move, 1,000 to 2,000 houses move. Well, we actually know where they're going based on where they've been searching. So this is the migration trend from Redfin, and it shows you that where people move from Los Angeles and where they go. And so people are leaving Los Angeles for San Diego, Las Vegas, Bakersfield, Phoenix, Nashville. Nashville is in the top 5 places that they go. Phoenix, Las Vegas, these places will get some of the population that lost their houses in the fire. Now,
and it's not just homeless people who live in tents that I'm concerned about. It's people that were living in their cars that didn't run and RVs that were parked along the streets of Los Angeles. Everywhere. Not just the poor areas, folks, in the rich areas too. Now, the feeling that I've gotten from the responses from people who live in California or who have lived in California, when I asked a simple, humane question, where are the homeless? Is that people in California detest their homeless. But what bothers me most is that America cannot keep going the way we're going. I'm fixing to show you some information that talks about how they're going to start burning money and stop printing it. It's supposedly to bring down inflation. But what it usually does when they do this is causes a stock market crash. Now, history matters, folks, because it tends to repeat itself. And I have been telling you guys, our country is in the making of another Great Depression. It is all part of the Great Reset. They must crash our dollar. And to do it, there are specific things that need to happen. Getting rid of the middle class and Americans in homes, people who work and have a home, getting rid of them is important. Generational wealth must be destroyed. A lot of times, homes and lands in places like California and Maui are passed down through generations, and that is the wealth that the family continues to pass down, and those places are being systematically destroyed. It is all part of a big game, and most Americans don't even realize it yet.
Supposed to put no camping signs up.
Many in Colorado are forced to live in their cars. This reports on what could be Colorado's first mobile neighborhood.
I think something has to change because people are going to just leave California.
Particularly problematic encampments like this one, next to a school, offering $500 gift cards and a motel room to the residents.
I'm wondering where that money is even going.
People will call the cops and say that you're parked there and run you off. And people refer to it as the Walter White vehicle. We're not bad people.
Here in the Western world, especially USA and Canada, there is a growing gap between the poor and the rich. The middle class is getting squeezed and turned into the working class. And this is just a kind of mathematic reality.
11,000 people live like this across Los Angeles County by latest count, which was February last year, in RVs, recreational vehicles designed more for rural recreation than long-term urban living.
It's been getting worse.
Absolutely.
Is it helping you be the judge? Homeless population in LA growing 10% over the last year.
Wages just haven't kept up with productivity growth over the last 30, 40 years. And as long as that continues, expect more people to be homeless.
All over the internet, so we decided to dig in, do our own research, and break it down for you.
All right, so let's not even hesitate. Let's jump right in and tell you exactly what's going on.
In 1990, California started passing laws on combustion engines to clean up the air. According to the California Air Resources Board, more than half the people in California live in areas that exceed federal ozone standards, and most of those impacted are in low-income communities. The goal is to clean up the air and make it safe for all the residents.
So how are they planning to clean up the bad air? Well, since 50% of greenhouse emissions are due to transportation in California, they are really pushing manufacturers to make all of their vehicles zero-emission vehicles.
California is leading the charge with the Advanced Clean Trucks regulation that states in 2024 manufacturers will have to build more ZEVs. In 2025, that number is 11%. Each year it increases until 2036, when all manufacturers are to hit 100% zero-emission sales.
ACT covers any combustible engine in vehicles that weigh more than 8,500 pounds. So this includes tractors, buses, and yes, RVs. And the big problem is RV manufacturers don't have a zero-emission engine even in the works. There's nothing even viable, so this is going to have a huge impact.
So RV manufacturers can't build the mandatory ZEVs each year, which means not only can you not buy one in California, but you can't register it in California if bought from outside the state.
And remember, this is only for the year 2025 and moving forward. If you're looking to purchase a used RV, say something built in 2020, this does not affect those year models. It is going to start at year model 2025 and beyond.
And if you think California is the only state, you are wrong. There are 11 states that are following California.
They destroy money by essentially selling those bonds. And when the Fed, what happens is the bonds mature and the Fed doesn't roll them over. Someone else has to buy the bond. So the Fed gets its money back. And when the Fed gets money back, that money just evaporates. The Fed doesn't need to keep any money because it can make all the money it wants anytime it wants to. So it's a bit complicated to explain in just a few sentences, but the bottom line is it's the opposite of quantitative easing. Quantitative tightening destroys money, and that tends to make stock prices fall. And we're about to get a heavy dose of quantitative tightening coming into effect within the next couple of months.
And it's going to make it harder and harder for mom and pop to go buy that house they expect they're going to flip.
And isn't that going to drive inflation through the roof?
Well, they think the opposite. When they, instead of printing money, that's the thing that normally causes inflation. It stimulates the economy, it creates growth. But when they destroy the money, that tends to make asset prices fall, like stocks and property. So people are less rich, so they spend less money. And if they spend less money, then prices tend to fall. So that's why they're doing this. They're worried now that the inflation rate has moved up to 7%, and they're taking steps to bring it back down. But what they may find is this could cause a significant stock market crash. And some of the high-flying stocks got hit a whole lot harder than that. Tend to use credit is because I say this system that we have now is not capitalism, it's creditism.
Yes.
Creditism sounds better than debtism. I tried that. Creditism works better. Capitalism to creditism. Because credit growth drives economic growth now. We're dependent on it.
Los Angeles Mayor Karen Bass, another Democratic failure, also faces intense criticism for cutting the fire department's budget by $17.6 million just a few months earlier in order to take care of the illegal aliens and the homeless, for which Gavin Newsom took billions in tax dollars for many years and promised to address that issue, but he failed miserably. Given the history of frequent destructive fires, this decision qualifies for high marks on the insanity meter.
You need to do a story about the migrants who are starting fires in the middle of the night to keep warm. Right, I'm in a desert, and when it becomes nighttime, it becomes chilly. So I want to show you within just a few feet, there's 1, 2, 3, 4 fire pits that these migrants have made.
So if you're wise enough, you can obviously see the writing on the wall. As Trump comes in to his inauguration, January 20th, 2025, America is crumbling. Our federal government has written California a blank check for 180 days. Now, can Trump stop it? We will see. But since they've increased the money for FEMA exponentially, because of course, like California, a lot of FEMA's money were spent on illegal aliens. And what did Trump promise to do when he came in? Is start sending them all home. Yet Americans call the ones of us who are concerned about a future for our children racist, homophobic, xenophobic, anti-immigrant. when all really it's just smoke and mirrors. My best advice to you is like, comment, subscribe, share this video, row in our boat, learn how to grow food, learn how to make medicine, learn how to get out of debt, grow closer to God. Because folks, 2025 is going to be a roller coaster of a year. But the one thing I can promise you is America is fixing to see a complete and utter desolation of the middle class. It has been a slow boil for 40 years now. But I think at this point, the frog is very comfortable in the pot, and you're going to see them turn up the flames. God bless you guys.